Highlands, a venue that stands unique among its Southern Hemisphere sporting rivals, offering its own form of adventure tourism that this area is renowned for. A place that honours history and captures the essence of the classics, but with a modern take. Nestled in the breathtaking Central Otago region of New Zealand's South Island, you'd almost be forgiven for thinking it's been here longer than the 10-year celebration we're about to enjoy. What a spot to kickstart a brand new summer series of motorsport, one that brings rising stars down under to take on some of our most talented emerging racers. Cool cars, captivating competition, and global coverage. Welcome to round one of the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship. The name might sound like a mouthful, but there is immense cachet in this series, and importantly, its place on the pathway in motorsport. What we used to call TRS, or the Toyota Racing Series, now has Formula Regional Oceania status, and that certification from the global governing body, the FIA, is really significant. It is one of only 7 series anywhere in the world of its kind, and here's the best bit. For the drivers taking part, well, they can now earn up to 18 points toward a super licence. That's almost half of what you need for F1, and it's up on the 10 points previously offered. So that makes it the most significant single-seater series in New Zealand, Australia, and in our corner of the world.
We're here at Highlands for the first round of the Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Series, and all the teams are ready to go. 3 teams in all: Kiwi Motorsport, Giles Motorsport, and M2 Competition. Let's take a look at each and every one of those teams. M2 Competition, run by Jonathan Morey and Mark Pilcher, are the most successful team in the history of TRS. Once again, they have a strong contingent with UAE F4 champion Charlie Wirtz of Austria, son of Formula 1 racer Alex Wirtz. He'll be challenged hard by Porsche star in Australia and former 86 champion Callum Hedge of New Zealand, definitely one of the favourites for the overall title. Also from New Zealand and M2, Liam Skeets, Formula Ford up-and-comer and definitely about to make a name for himself on home soil. David Morales from Florida has been racing with success in GB3 in the UK and exudes a confidence and personality that is irrepressible. Finally, but interestingly, Ryder Quinn of Australia, who is the least experienced driver in the field, but is here to create a major surprise and is also the grandson of circuit owner and business entrepreneur Tony Quinn. Up next, Giles Motorsport, run by Stephen Giles, a former McLaren F1 engineer, and he runs the team like an F1 setup. His success in TRS is one of the best. Brian Sheehan is a 17-year-old from Austin, Texas in the USA, and was working with Kiwi Motorsport, but being engineered by Stephen Giles in the USA. He reunites with Stephen Giles in Giles Motorsport to be a lead in his team. Fellow American 18-year-old Chloe Chambers is from Monroe, New York, and joins us from the W Series, where she was teammate to multiple champion Jamie Chadwick. Chloe has already made a name for herself by being a Guinness Book of Records winner for slalom in a Porsche. Finally, the formidable talent of New Zealand's 19-year-old Bree Morris, who lives and breathes for motorsport and arrives in TRS as a North Island Formula Ford champion. Like her teammates, this is her rookie season and is here to establish herself as a Kiwi international star. Kiwi Motorsport are successful on both sides of the pond. Victory in 2017 with Australian Thomas Randall, as well as being the most successful F4 team in America with multiple championships. Run by Gary Orton and Tina Larson, they brought with them one of the best up-and-coming stars of American racing, Jacob Abel of Kentucky at 21 years of age. Abel was 8th in Indy Lights last season and is one of the favourites for the title here in New Zealand. Britain's only entry is 20-year-old Josh Mason, who comes off 2 seasons in Euro Formula and is looking to follow in the footsteps of Lando Norris, who first made his international name in TRS, winning the series in 2017. Tommy McClellan from Brisbane, Australia is an 18-year-old who's been racing Porsches in Australia and is now keen to show the world what he can do in single-seaters. It'll be a big adjustment over the 5 weeks, but young Tommy is up for the challenge. Lucas Facori is an 18-year-old Brazilian who's been winning with Kiwi Motorsport in the USA and was the first assigned to race here in New Zealand. He brings fellow Brazilian IndyCar driver Matheus Leist as his driver coach, and together they plan to see the Brazilian flag flying high on both the North and South Islands over the next 5 weeks. finally, there's Kiwi James Penrose, who comes from Formula Ford and is backed by Castrol after beating a host of challenges for the honour of representing Castrol for the 2023 season. One of the best and most experienced drivers in the field, he knows the tracks and is racing and representing a long history of Kiwi racers that have been international stars over the last 15 years. It's the most open field in years, and it's hard to predict an overall winner. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be one of the most competitive series in years. A qualifying on Saturday morning set the grid for race 1. Race 2 is a reverse top 8 of race 1. And Sunday qualifying set the grid for the feature Dorothy Smith Memorial Trophy. And here is the grid for that first race, qualifying this morning. And we see a Kiwi, Callum Hedge, on pole position, and an American, David Morales, alongside him. Then it's Josh Mason of the UK, Charlie Wirtz of Austria in 4th. Ryder Quinn, 5th, and Liam Skeets in 6th place from New Zealand. Then it's the two Americans, Abel and Sheehan. Jacob Abel and Ryan Sheehan. Then McLennan from Australia, from Brisbane, and Chloe Chambers from New York. Then it's Penrose, 2 Kiwis, James Penrose and Bree Morris, wearing those famous ITM colours. A disaster for Lucas Vicori of Brazil and Tom McClellan of Australia, who both had issues, had to start from pit lane after the grid was reformed. Here we go then! Out go the lights and away we go! Good start from the poleman Hedge. He gets away well. Morales does not get away as well. And a good start. Everybody coming towards the bus stop now, but it's Callum Hedge. Morales drops to 3rd. Good start from Quinn in the all pink.
I think Charlie Wirtz has had a good start there too. Car 7.
Yep, Charlie Wirtz got away well off the line. He, of course, the Formula 4 champion from the UAE from last season, coming here. And what about a name to bring? Charlie Wirtz, his dad, of course, a Formula 1 star and a Toyota star in his later days, a world champion in WEC. So, Alex, I'm sure will be watching, and your boy is doing good. Oh, little fisticuffs there, as through goes the 51. Nice racing already. Callum Hedge, though, starting to put the head down and starting to push on here in the first lap. A nice clean start, and it's good to see both the two at the back, the Brazilian, Vicori and McClellan, getting away well. They've got some catching up to do. Penrose in the Castrol colours. He had to fight off 6 other drivers to win the challenge. Castrol gave him the money, and here he is.
Got to say, it looks racy from Penrose at this stage too. Looks like he's got some pace in that car at the moment, but with work to do. 10th place at the moment for James Penrose. We go back to the front of the field and already margin for our race leader, Callum Hedge. That's a nice little buffer over I want to say Alex Wirtz. Yeah, Charlie Wirtz. It's easy to do, isn't it, at this point in time?
Well, also his helmet's got the similar lid to the one that Alexander Wirtz wore back in the day of his Formula 1 championship. But he's up to 2nd place, just the thing he wanted. Charlie, his mum here this weekend.
Dad's been on the phone too. I think Jonathan regularly keeping an eye and an ear on how things are unfolding and going for him with this team here in New Zealand. Hedge by 1.1 over Charlie Wirtz. Morales and Josh Mason, who's had an up and down weekend so far, in a solid 4th.
Yeah, but it's Hedge, Wirtz and Morales. Morales recovering from 3rd. Good start by the young Austinite in the number 66, and that is Ryan Sheehan.
Man, how good are those guys, and the calibre as we take you inside the M2 operation there now.
Yep, Jonathan Morey, Mark Pilcher, of course, from New Zealand, Jonathan Morey from Europe, and M2, the most successful team in the Toyota Racing Series. Now, look at Callum Hedge pulling away. 2.1, I think the gap's going to be even more. He really is pushing it as he heads over the bridge again. The wonderful drone shots. Highlands in the background. It really is an absolutely stunning setting for a motor race.
Just keeping an eye on Chambers and Morris, 10th and 11th respectively. So Chambers solidly and very impressively in the top 10, and that's a close fight. She's in with James Penrose there for 9th place. In fact, the pair of them separated by about half a second.
Hedge crosses the line again. Does he improve? Well, I'll tell you what, if Charlie Wirtz is going to catch him, he's going to have to get the hurry up on, because time's running out. A 1:29.3 this time from Hedge as he extends that lead now. Callum Hedge into the forest then, and doing an excellent job so far. He's taken that gap. Yeah, 2.3 seconds now. The gap, though, between Morales and Wirtz is closing.
And it looks like, I think Morris has lost a spot there to one of the
the drivers we saw that started from the pit lanes. We should keep an eye on that as well, because McLennan's been on the recovery, 2 down in 13th place after that drama on the grid. We go back to 2nd place. Jonathan was talking about it. That gives you an idea. Versus Morales. That fight for 2nd is really heating up now.
Now, can this little group, Quinn at the back of it, Ryder Quinn, what a character he is.
The start, I'd love to know what happened in terms of a replay of the start, because he clearly lost ground, Ryder, didn't he? Down in 8th place at the moment, and the performance we've seen from him right across practice and qualifying so far this weekend was better than that. So this may, okay, thank you, you ask, and Tyler, the director, delivers. So.
Well, this is the start, and you can see Wirtz gets away very well. Morales just a little bog off the line, and that's all it took. And no shenanigans going into the bus stop, but everybody jostling for position. But a nice, clean start from Callum Hedge, exactly what he wanted. Hedge into the forest.
You know, he may have lost a little bit of ground there at the start, but Ryder has shown some real smarts for a young racer. Watching Brie Morris here to the left of your screen in that ITM coloured number 55. Now that's McLennan who started from the lane here, and that car looks like it's got some good pace. So at the moment, Tom McLennan trying to find a way to move past Brie Morris, and that's for 12th. Remember though, Tom had that drama on the grid and has effectively started last.
Brie will be looking in her mirrors right now in the number 55.
Awesome to see her as a part of this series. Look at this.
Oh, this is it. This is good stuff. Abel maybe creating an opportunity for Ryder, because Ryder Quinn is going to try and pick up the pace and pick up the pieces if Abel is not able to get past Ryan Sheehan. Sheehan, though, doing a good job, and here comes Abel. Jacob Abel makes the pass, but has he made it stick? It's going to be side-by-side a drag race to the bridge, and Ryan Sheehan holding on. But is Ryan going to hold on? Well, Private Ryan saved that one. Nicely done. Abel will have to live again and fight again. He comes up the inside on the left-hander. Sheehan defends again in the 66. Good racing between the two Americans.
This could go south real fast, and as you rightly point out, Ryder Quinn is there to pick up the pieces. He's not quite sure which way to go at the moment.
Well, the three-way race between the two Americans and the Australian hotting up nicely, and Quinn looking as though he's going to make a move on Abel now. So suddenly the battle is coming the other way. Abel was making his move, he's lost ground to Sheehan, and now Quinn is all over the back of them as they come through the bus stop and out to the forest again.
Ryder's got pace here, definitely, and he's seen what?
Mistake from Sheehan. Oh, Sheehan goes very wide. Let's hope he doesn't hit the wall. Sheehan's lost it.
He's hit the wall.
Oh, he has hit the wall, sadly. He's lost suspension on the left front there. That could cause a safety car. What a shame. The young boy from Austin, Texas was going so well. And he's just, well, he'd done a good job. He got away from Abel.
Safety car deployed at Highlands. There it is, the beautiful Supra. You get a build-up of rubber. So there it is. It is one very particular line that you need through that southern loop section. Now, he carried a lot of speed there. He was, eager to get that pass done. Did it beautifully. Was there perhaps just a fraction too much speed? Maybe pushed a little wide and into the marbles. Now, watch for the marbles here.
Yeah.
Now, was it just off that line and the moment you get out there?
Yeah, well, you can see once he... Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He was pushing on because he got away from Abel, having had the pressure. And so he was trying to use this lap to try and sort of make it stick, as it were. And like you say, he got a little too strong into that right-hander. That pushed him wide. And once you get on those marbles, it's like skiing. You're on ice. And you can see Michael's reaction. He's been there, done that, and knows exactly what the poor Ryan Sheehan is going through. It's a great place to learn, and that's what this is all about. But Callum Hedge will now lead the procession, but it doesn't matter because that black and white flag says it all to every racing driver. Hedge does it in Highlands and does it in style. He didn't make a mistake. He got off the line well. He dealt with the pressure from behind from Wirtz and from Morales, and he takes the first victory. The Supersport Motorsport New Zealand Championship is underway, and it is a New Zealander who wins the race ahead of his two teammates. So it's a 1-2-3 for M2 competition. Mason takes the first of the other teams with Kimi Motorsport, the Brit taking fourth place ahead of fellow New Zealander and M2 competition maker in fifth place. Abel, Quinn, Penrose, Chambers and Fakori doing a good job, actually, the Brazilian, to make the top 10 after what has been a really tough run to get to the first race.
David Morales, start P2, finish P3. Not the best start?
No, not the best start at all, but I mean, definitely stuff to learn from that start, and just happy with the end result, definitely, P3. So.
Started P3, goes in P2, and a lightning start. That must make you feel so good.
Yeah, it was definitely a very good start. It didn't feel good at first. The initial launch was really good, and then I got a lot of wheel spin, but somehow I managed it, and then I was suddenly in P2. Like, it was a bit surprising, honestly, that I'll get such a good start. And then from then on, I was just managing the position a bit. We have to keep these tires for another race, so I didn't want to go too aggressive, maybe lock up, ruin the tires. So I just took it a bit easy. I knew Callum is very fast and it's not too easy to overtake on this track. So I decided to focus more on tomorrow's race. Being a ready second position, I was happy with that, and tomorrow hopefully we can go for more.
You must be incredibly satisfied with that start. You had a lightning start.
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous because my last practice start was a bit average, but just worked hard, make sure I had a lot of rear tyre temp before I went, and got a good launch. There was definitely a couple of laps where I made a few mistakes, but we work on them and go again tomorrow. Nice run to the championship, man. P1, congratulations.
Well, after his win in '86 and his exploits over in Australia, the motorsport community of New Zealand is well aware of Callum Hedge. But let's learn more about the man who drives the number 70.
Hi, I'm Callum Hedge. I'm 19 years old from New Zealand, and I originally come from Tauranga. For me, it's been a series that I've wanted to do for quite a number of years. If you look at the resume of almost every single professional or high-level New Zealand racing car driver, there's not a single one of them that hasn't got TRS and New Zealand Formula Ford on their CV. So this is one that we've been wanting to do for a couple of years, especially with COVID interrupting those years. So for me, it's a big chance to develop my skills and prove that I can hopefully drive somewhat. Well, I don't actually come from a racing family at all, so I'm actually the first generation racer in my family. So when I was 4 or 5, it wasn't really in my mind, and then I was actually doing Ripper Rugby at the time, and I was deciding whether I chose go-karting or Ripper Rugby, and to be honest, I sucked at both. I was very average at rugby and very average at go-karting, but I had a little bit more fun driving the go-kart, and things went from there. There's nothing more tense than sitting there and waiting for the green flag at the back so that you can pluck first gear and get underway with your start procedure and hope you get the perfect launch. So for me, that's the most tense moment of the race, but as long as you work hard and get it off the line, then hopefully the rest of it's pretty easy for you. Never race to try and come second, so of course the goal is to win, but also to develop myself as a driver and as a person and come out the other side better.
Coming up, we meet a young woman in the fast lane and highlights of race 2.
Hi, my name's Brenna Morris. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah, I started in karting when I was 10 years old, 2013, and now I'm 10 years later and I'm sitting here about to race in the Castrol Formula Regional Oceania Championship. I guess I did the simplest, most direct way of single-seater racing, where I started in Formula first. Then I jumped into a Formula Ford for 2 seasons, where they do say you have to win some races and a title to be able to move on to the next step, which I did. And then I am now sitting here for the Castrol Formula Regional Oceania Series. I treat my motorsport career as my ambition, my career, my everything I want to do. I get out of bed in the morning for it. I want to be doing this as my career. So after I compete in this series, I'm hoping to either compete in W Series or the new FIA F1 Academy. But I also want to venture past just a women's series. The most important thing for me is just to remember that we are the same out on the track, and my most favourite part is when I actually take my helmet on, and sometimes people realise I am a chick when I take my helmet off. My main priority is to be racing as my career. It could be IndyCar, it could be F1, it could be F2, it could be tin tops later on, you never know.
Here's your starting grid, and it's Penrose, a man you know well, on the pole, and Quinn. Front row start for them. Jacob Abel and Skeets, Liam Skeets in 4th position. Another Kiwi following in Marcus's footsteps. Then it's Mason and Morales. Watch out for Morales. He's had a good weekend so far. Then Wirtz and Hedge. Now, obviously, as the two top men from last time, they start reverse top 8, and therefore that's why they're down there. Chambers and Fakuri from Brazil, and then McClellan and Morris. Brie-Rob Morris, the Formula Ford North Island champion, and then Ryan Sheehan, who caused the red flag, having crashed out of race 1, will have to start at the back. Ryder Quinn on the right-hand side, all pink, will take on the all-green Penrose from the start. Out go the lights, and away we go. And a good start from the front row, very impressive indeed, but also jostling for position. Right at the back, Brie Morris will try to make her way through, but it's an excellent start from Penrose as he dives into the Repco. Bus stop, oh, somebody hit one of the pylons there. Luckily, no damage. Oh, sadly, Fakuri's off into the grass, the Brazilian. And Brie Morris has got by him, she'll like that. And into the southern loop, where the accident that Ryan Sheehan encountered happened yesterday, but Penrose flying away. What a great start.
That's exactly what he would have wanted. It's look, I expected it from James. He's extremely composed, so the start's the first thing you need to nail, but he's got some fast guys behind him, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and Penrose, I talked to him, and he's probably, in terms of these single-seaters, probably the least experienced, and so this is a big opportunity, race 2 in the first weekend, because real strong points. If he can hold this position and take a race win, the points count just as much as any race.
Yep, I think James will be absolutely on it. He sort of understands the philosophy. He's won 1 million races. I've seen him win 1 million races from the front, and I think Ryder Quinn's going to be difficult to beat. He's got some pace, but let's see how it goes. He's got a massive lead.
Yep, everybody pushing out of the hairpin there, and the dust flying up as they head over the bridge. But Penrose already making a big gap here in the opening lap. And I know how much this means to him, because Castrol put him to the test. He had to challenge 6 other drivers for the opportunity to get the dough to effectively take on the championship. So he wants to see Castrol, obviously the headline sponsor of the event as well, but he wants that car to be in the front. And I've never seen a lead in Highlands that quick. Marcus, what do you see from the start?
Yeah, as I said, very composed. James launched really well, and you see Jacob Abel coming through the inside there. You know, it's a matter of how late you want to brake here. Do you really want to take that risk? And obviously he's hit the marker on the inside, so yeah, not an ideal start for Ryder.
Turn 1, drivers left.
Caution on turn 1. We are just told I'm listening to race radio, which is... Oh, no! That's Skeets, Liam Skeets in the 23, and there's damage to the front wing by the looks of it, and I can't see, but if he has touched the wall on the left-hand side, yeah, it's very similar to yesterday, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a big one.
I'm guessing that is also going to be suspension damage front left. Here's what happened, as we see. Here comes Ryder. Oh, he went early,
he lost it early. Yeah, really early.
That's interesting, because that's not the kind... Maybe he was turning in, saw another car on his inside, and then went back out again. That's very strange.
Yeah, I was driving here last weekend, and it's very easy to lose the rear on entry there, especially if you're pushing a bit too hard. There's also a bit of a tailwind down there, so it is maybe yesterday it could have been a headwind, and it's a bit of a surprise on lap 1. Just to, you know, the wind direction actually makes a massive difference with these cars and the aero level.
And we are ready to go racing. James Penrose of New Zealand. Abel's on the green flag waves, and now he starts to accelerate towards the bus stop. Good restart from Penrose, but look at Abel, tucked up right behind, and if Abel's going to take a chance, it could be now. Can't quite do it. Good restart then from Penrose. Quinn in 3rd. Morales still in the hunt. Fakuri has recovered after his grass excursions, and he's got past Brie Morris again. Whoa, great move. Nicely done by Charlie Wirtz on Quinn, and Quinn had to back out. Wow.
Very ballsy move.
Yeah, very nice. And that's not often you see a move there, but Quinn definitely surprised by Charlie Wirtz's aggression, and now Morales wants a piece of him too.
Yeah, now he's going to lose his momentum even more, so he needs to try and stall everyone else trying to have a go at him.
It's hard to gauge when you've been caught out like that. You almost lose your mind, don't you? But that was good experience racing.
Absolutely. It was actually a very big move from Wirtz.
Forward to a great 5 weeks ahead. But it's Penrose, Abel, Wirtz and Quinn, the top 4. Morales, Hedge, the top 6. Chambers doing a good job. Chloe Chambers, the young American, you'll have seen her in the W Series. This is the highest she's been up there, in 7th place.
Yeah, they obviously use this car in W Series, so she's had plenty of mileage in this car. She's doing extremely well. She's right with that front group. And I think towards the end, we're going to see a bit of action. Everyone's sliding around a little bit more. Every single lap, you can see the cars moving a bit more. which is going to cause a bit of entertainment, I reckon.
You know, talking to you over the years, I know that when you're most happy is when you're doing exactly what Penrose is doing, which is controlling the race, setting fastest laps after fastest laps, and it's almost more comfortable to be doing that than be slowing the pace and not pushing, right?
Well, if I was in James's situation right now, I would want the most boring race on planet Earth. Just cruise around, no safety cars, nothing, no action. And then if you're in Callum Hedges' position, you want complete chaos. You want some guy lunging and crashing and causing safety cars, and that creates opportunities. So I think James is doing a tremendous job. He's obviously worked on something overnight because he's found a massive amount of pace. I mean, to win a race by 3.5 seconds in TA race, you don't often see it.
The hurt on Callum Hedge, doing a great job. And, a great move by the 21 of Josh Mason, the Brit, getting past. And nicely done.
Yeah, beautiful move.
Chambers coming back, trying to come back on Mason. His father's here this weekend. He's heading back to Great Britain after the weekend, but he'd love a good result for the boy. So Chambers, despite putting the pressure on, has lost quite a lot of time there with Mason getting past.
I'm sure now that the boys at M2 are telling Callum Hedge on the radio, this is where you can do a move. We've seen it happen, so just go for it.
Now let's see who's fastest lap. Well, once again, 29.8. So Penrose is just getting better and better as the race goes on. This is the reverse grid race 2, remember? He's now taking it to 3.8 seconds as we look at the 21 of Mason, just getting by Chambers and now pulling away as they go through the southern loop. Last lap then, and we are getting ready for what will be historic win for James Penrose, his first in TRS as he comes under the bridge and into the carousel. And then down towards the hairpin for the last time. And Penrose has absolutely played this. Marcus, you'd be proud of a nice little race like that. That's as good as it gets, isn't it? Oh, here we go. Abel under pressure. Wirtz tries around the outside, and he could give a position away here to Ryder Quinn. CC Ryder, go son.
Yeah, he's just gone in too hot, and Ryder's taken advantage of it. But it's going to be interesting.
Oh, it's going to be... well, Wirtz was smart there. Chip off the old block. I think Alexander would have complimented that one. Meanwhile, Hedge is making his move on Morales on the inside. Couple of corners to go. It's all going off. Hedge on the outside. Can he hedge his bet, I wonder? Well, can you get it? The checkered flag waves for Penrose, who wins at Highlands in style. Ryder Quinn holds off and takes second place. A great result for him. Grandad will be happy. And Kiwi Motorsport are absolutely delighted with that one. Let's take a look at the results then. James Penrose wins for the first time, and it's a 1-2 as Abel comes second and holds off the rest of the chasing pack of M2 competition. Quinn in third, Wirtz in fourth, Morales in fifth, Hedge sixth, Mason, Chambers, Sheehan and McClellan rounding out the top 10. Well done to Chloe Chambers, her best results of TRS.
Congratulations, mate. I think that's the best smile we've seen from you all weekend. What changed from yesterday?
Just confidence, definitely. I think lacking a bit of confidence yesterday, and then through that race out in front, it just builds on confidence. So the fast stuff all of a sudden felt a lot easier for me. And stringing lap after lap after lap, it was just that was a really good feeling.
P2, Jacob Abel, congratulations, mate. A Kiwi 1-2. How good was that to actually get on the podium and have a strong race?
Yeah, it was really good. We had a little bit of a better qualifying this morning, qualified fifth, so we're going to be starting there later this afternoon, so we saved kind of our better tires for that. So we had our bad tires on for this race, so got a good start there and was lucky to, hold the guys behind me back. Huge congrats to James. He's been working really hard all weekend, so to see him come away with the win is really cool.
Ryder Quinn, congratulations, mate. A late lunge, eh? Make everyone watch. A late lunge, how good?
Oh, well, I thought I'd put a good show on for the crowd and you guys at home. So, what can I say? We knew it was a bigger opportunity for good points and possibly a podium starting off P2 today.
Coming up, his father raced here in New Zealand. Now Charlie Wirtz is looking to make his mark. Highlights of the Dorothy Smith Memorial Feature Race.
So my name is Charlie Wirtz. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Austria.
So I started when I was about 9 years old. So I went rental karting with the family, and then I saw one of my friends was racing these karts that were so much faster than the rental karts I was driving. So I really asked my dad, I pleaded him that if I could go racing as well. And finally after like 1 year, he said yes. So I was about 9 years old, and we went to Austria and had our first race, and it was so much fun. And then since then I've been racing basically every week of the rest of my life. We're planning, yes, to do this series to prepare mainly for the Formula Regional European Championship. It's a really high level championship. The grid is maxed out with I think 36 cars and top teams and really good drivers. Some guys with 3-4 years of experience in the category, so I think it'll be a really good championship. Might be tough, but definitely a good learning experience. I'm always like to be a consistent driver. I don't think I make too many mistakes. That's also one of my weaknesses, that I can probably push myself a bit more, like maybe overdrive sometimes, because I generally tend to go, let's say, that 99%. And I'm working on that. So the last few tests we've done in the regional car in Europe, I've been doing that step, so I'm driving a bit more 101%, so I think we're working to fix that, but it's also a positive in the races, but maybe in qualifying I can find, a few more tenths. The racing might be a bit different here from what my dad told me from when he raced in Formula Ford. The Kiwis are quite aggressive and they really know the tricks around here, so I think I definitely have a lot to learn from them, and I think that's why we're here, just to learn as much as possible and get us some new racing experiences.
Here's the grid then. Callum Hedge in pole position and leading the championship. Morales, I mentioned, in second place. Then it's Charlie Wirtz and Liam Skeets for that fixed car. Good to see him out there. Jacob Abel, second last time out. Mason from Great Britain in 6th position. His father watching in the stands. Quinn, his granddad's here. McClellan, his dad's here in 8th position. Then it's Ryan Sheehan and Chloe Chambers, the two Americans, 9th and 10th. Penrose, winner, last time out. What confidence for Corey, needing a good result. And Brie Morris, do not count her out at your peril. She's just getting to grips with this car, and Brie Morris is a future international star, I assure you. A chance to get to that bus stop before anybody else. Up go the revs! Out go the lights! And away they go. Morales gets a flyer! Morales is leading! What a start! That's not easy to do.
Huge start. This could change the complexion of the race right from the beginning here. If you can get in the lead, it's so hard to pass. So Callum will be kicking himself for that one.
Well, the irony is he's been saying all weekend, I can't make starts. That's my Achilles heel. Well, boy, has he just changed that. That was scintillating.
It was cool, calm and collected out the gate. As you can see, Callum there just drop a wheel on the exit, getting a bit of that aero wash. He hasn't had much experience with aero wash
yeah,
this
he's been out front. Lee John gets the best view.
That's the one. And Morales is going to do everything he can there to just pull a bit of a gap. It is a long race as well at the same time, so you don't want to go out and fry the tyres lap run. As we can see, Josh Mason with a nice move there too.
Yeah, Josh Mason just making a move on Chloe Chambers, the American. At just 18 years of age. One season under her belt in the W Series, and she's hoping to be on that international stage again.
So Hedge there forces Morales to have to take a tighter line to defend his line. So obviously he has pace. Callum Hedge has some pace out of the gate first lap here. Long race, we know, but to see that pace already, he's putting the pressure on early.
Ryan Sheehan of Austin, Texas in and under pressure from Fakuri of Brazil. They know each other well, having raced against each other in the US of A. Josh Mason making another move. He's going well. Penrose, the winner of race 2, looking to settle down with a good start to this race, but a brilliant start from David Morales. Jim, here's another look at the start, Andrew. You take it.
Yeah, so both cars just seem, maybe Callum there just bogged down just a little bit, didn't quite get the run, but real clean start there for Morales. As you You can see another angle there as Morales at that point knows it's all his, and he will just be having a little smile under the helmet there, knowing how much of a difference being in the front makes. It just completely changes the complexion of the race there. But just watching a little shot as well of Morales into the tight S's. Looks like he's struggling with a bit of understeer, struggled to get the car turned, took a while to get back onto the throttle. So clearly he's taking a while to get those front tyres up to temperature there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this race pans out. Would you say that the majority are on fresh tyres, green rubber as we call it?
I would say most are using their better tyre sets, as they would have used up their tyre sets in qualifying. So I doubt anyone's got green tyres, but the better tyre sets would be used for this race, being the longest race of the day. I think that's one of the engineers looking a little bit unhappy about something there, where maybe he's had a radio call, but
it's M2 competition. They never look happy during a race.
They're just so focused on the job at hand, just like all the teams. And as they go around that big long loop again, see Callum there struggling, would have had a bit of understeer, and the car snapped into a slide. Very, very wide. That is a moment there for Callum.
So in the lead, it's David Morales, Callum Hedge right there with him, Charlie Wirtz third, then it's Skeets, Abel, Mason, Chambers seventh, McClellan eighth, Quinn and Penrose. That's your top 10. I love Callum Hedge in the press conference. He's such a Kiwi. He goes, I want to see how my chicken wings go. See how long his arms could last, because he knows how physical these cars are. There you see it, fighting the wheel.
Yes. So there's Callum's engineer as well, and he's obviously talking to Callum a bit, and you can see as well the rear of the car just moving around a little bit there still for Callum. As you said, that's not the first time we've seen that. There's some amazing engineers down here in New Zealand doing their piece as well, and you can see the shot as the cars go down into the forest and back this way. You can see a little bit of track off to the left-hand side in that shot there. That's just a little add-on, drops away, then comes back up for a bit of fun.
Now, Andrew, this is as close as Callum's been. How does he play this? Because he's now hunting, no question about it, at a reverse Indy. What's he going to do and where?
He's just going to keep putting the pressure on. He knows the next section of the track, from this last corner all the way to the exit of the loop, is all high aero stuff. So there's not much you can do. Just sit back a little bit out of that aero wash and look after those fronts again and try in the low speed corners.
Almost identical clock times, 1:29.6 for both drivers at the front. And meanwhile, Wirtz is on a 1:30.3. So these two guys are in a race of their own.
Yeah, amazing how much of a gap they managed to pull already as they come down into the tighter part of the track. So this is where Callum really needs to put the pressure on through the S's here. We saw Callum a little bit sideways last lap through there. As we see James Penrose putting a bit of pressure on there as well of McLennan.
And there's the battle also, Ryan Sheehan and Penrose just behind him. There's Fakori and Brie Morris doing a good job. Her family here this weekend to cheer her on, and she's all over the back of the Brazilian at the moment. And side by side, Josh Mason makes his move on Abel, and it's gone horribly wrong for the Brig. Abel keeps going, but, well, tough call for the stewards. But I've got one near me who used to play this game. Who would you call was the fault there?
Oh, I'm going to wait till I see another replay, but there wasn't a lot of room given on the outside there. So, yeah, we'll wait and see another replay before I make too many accusations. But
go on, Brie! Brie Morris makes the move on the F4 US Brazilian driver, Lucas Fakori. It's all going on. Here's another look at it.
As you can see, Josh with a big late dive up into there, and Abel staying nice and wide, leaving him plenty of race room at this point. And Josh Mason there, see, he hasn't made the apex at that point. He's run wide, and then the next corner, he hasn't given Abel enough room. So, to me, that's on Mason.
I've heard of Kane and Abel, but that's Mason and Abel. Not good, not fun, and they won't be happy. And I feel for Josh on that occasion. I think it was frustration more than anything. These two have been at each other the whole race so far, and finally just, he's like, okay, I've got to do something, and I'm going to do it now. Here's another good battle. Ryan Sheehan involved in this one, and McClellan, the Aussie, coming to single-seaters. He's done some single-seaters, but he's mainly known as a Porsche man, and he's got past, or is battling with, Ryan Sheehan as they head down. Oh, here comes Ryan in the 66 with the McLaren orange colours for Giles Motorsport. He's been working with Stephen Giles now for over a year. That was top-tastic by the youngster from Austin, and now Penrose has got past McClellan as well. It's all happening in the midfield. Brie Morris attacking hard on Mason. Meanwhile, a three-way battle here for points.
Great battle here as well. As we know, James Penrose full of confidence after his race win in the first race today. Let's check out a replay here. So you can see Sheehan staying nice and wide at that point, trying to run the, you can near him run the high line around that corner, not quite, and then Gray racing there is, oh, you can see McLennan there through what is called the sting, that right-hander there, it's actually off camber, so that's why the car snapped into a slide, and then great move here by Sheehan up the inside.
Yeah, using the width of the circuit, it's one of the widest parts of the circuit, making it stick. Penrose doing the same. McClellan out of sorts at that point, loses 2 spots very quickly indeed. So back to the leader. Now something strange has happened here for Callum Hedge, because he suddenly dropped off desperately there. We'll see what happens when the lap times come up again, but suddenly he has completely drifted off. The gap was 0.4 of a second.
The incident between car 21
That's a huge
and car 51
drop
will be a
off.
post-race investigation.
Post-race investigation then for the Mason Abel incident, so that could change the points.
That is a huge drop-off there by Callum Hedge there. Just something isn't obviously right there. I would expect Callum to... Was that him in the background? I think he's just pulled into the pit lane.
I think he has too. Well, we'll find out very quickly indeed. That is disaster. And again... Oh, no! Yes! Is it a puncture? What's the deal? It looks like maybe a suspension issue, because it looks right rear. Doesn't look great. They're taking a look at it, but certainly they're not rushing to get him out there, are they?
I think they've broken a suspension part. You could see the way the car pulled up. The left front tyre just locked as he was coming to a stop. So that means that something's broken somewhere, most likely in the rear. And yeah, huge blow.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's watch him go through the bus stop. Andrew, let's see your eagle eye here.
Yeah, so just as he comes up to the bus stop, so there's 2 places this could have really happened. It's either the bus stop where he's coming into here, or it's onto the bridge. So at that point there, that's just a bit of a bump in the road. Don't think too much, but the curb's a little bit further on from there. He could have bounced off one of them, or the other one is the entry to the bridge. If you take too much curb there, you can also break the car, but I'm thinking it's that first curb or the last curb through the bus stop that's really caused that, which is a huge shame for him.
It looks like a rear rocker may be broken, but either way, it's disaster for Callum Hedge after what has been a brilliant start. But look for Morales. He's way ahead of the pack now, some 6 seconds ahead of Wirtz, chasing in second place. And I've got a feeling that Wirtz will be the sensible Austrian that he is and look at this and go, you know what? I'm not going to catch 6 seconds in the remaining 10 laps. I might settle for this and just hold off Skeets. There he is.
You got to think as well, he had that crash earlier today, so to bounce back from that and be in podium position currently before the race end is, is pretty special. As you can see, Josh Mason there, clearly not too much damage to that car as he started to put a pressure on Tom McLennan there.
Yeah, Bree Morris just behind in the distance, but here we go, side by side. Mason's got to be careful, he doesn't want a second. No, he's thinking wiser of it this time. McLellan getting through and over the bridge, but Josh Mason hounding him again. Australia versus Great Britain. We've had some great British drivers here over the years, and obviously the standout is Lando Norris. Now with McLaren, and a very special year coming up for the New Zealand-based McLaren team as they celebrate their 60th anniversary. Bruce would be proud. Where's the best place to make a move and make it stick?
It changes with these cars. One of the easiest places you'd think would be down into the Forest hairpin after the big, long, fast list. But in these cars, you've got that aero wash, so you can't even go full throttle through there. So when we get around to it, I'll show you. But into here, you can't pass into this part because it's one line, a bit like the bus stop. So really, the first sector is out. You can't make any moves into here, into there. One good passing opportunity is into what is called the carousel up here.
Whee!
As you can see, Josh Mason trying up the inside. He's managed to keep it nice and tight to the apex that time. Great move there.
Josh Mason is not afraid to sling this car about, and I'm really pleased to see it. He has got the evil eye, and definitely. Bree Morris now coming on McLellan. Can she go around the outside? I think McLellan is in trouble. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with McLellan. Very strange, but Bree Morris almost had a crack at him there. She's lost pace now, but she's back over the bridge, and she'll build up for another move on little Tommy McLellan. Let's take a look at what just happened. Andrew, your take.
As you can see, very, very late dive there from Josh, but he's kept it under control, kept it nice and tight to the inside there. That's a convincing move there. McLennan there is really, really struggling at this point. He's trying to keep to the inside there, so maybe he's picked up some sort of debris, he's got some sort of issue because he's, really, really struggling with the car.
Yeah, Bree made the right idea there, but she just didn't make it stick maybe a little too far wide there, but she's fighting and fighting hard. Meanwhile, the leader, Morales, leading by, like I said, over 5 seconds, 5.5 to be exact, so that's a healthy lead in any form of motorsport. Anything over 2 seconds and you can breathe, not easily, but you can certainly go, okay, I'm in control of this race. Look, Callum Hedge is back out.
But for good reason, you can see Callum back out there. You sort of go, well, what's the point? He's 5 laps down. Why not back out on the track? He's still in position 13, which he gets points for finishing 13th outright. So, that could be the difference from winning the championship at the end compared to, not winning it. So there is very, very good reason to quickly change the arm and get back out on track.
Let's head down to Rusty. Oh, hang on.
Talk about the highs.
Oh, hang on there, Rusty. We've got a car off track nastily, and it's the 55, sadly, of Brie Morris.
That's after the bridge, so I'm wondering there. I'm trying to see if there's a flat spot on that left front tyre because that's very, very deep off into the gravel there. We'll keep an eye on the replay there and see if we can see anything. But let's just see the way she drives the car back. If she gets back into it, then we know there's nothing wrong. If she pulls into the lane, then I'm assuming something may be broken.
I think she's okay. Well, we're back with Morales. We were going to go down to Rusty. We'll go down to him in a moment, but let's just gather our thoughts as Morales continues. The gap coming down, actually. It's 4.9 seconds now between himself and Wirtz, and sadly there is Brie, the ITM-sponsored Deb Day here this weekend with the family. Everybody hard at work. Giles says, all right, I've had a look at it. Get out there. 4 to go then for Morales as he crosses the line, and another car. Oh, it's Charlie Wirtz. What's happened here? Did he go off? I saw dust flying up.
That's a very difficult corner down into the Dale ITM reverse Indy. So I'm wondering if he's just had a bit of a lock-up because it sort of goes downhill and then fades to the left. So I'm not sure if he's just had a lock-up and run wide, but he's very, very lucky because the gravel trap out there is huge. So to get away with that and still be carrying on, we're having a few cars making a few mistakes this late in the race.
Here we go. Here's Wirtz getting it wrong.
Very, very lucky to not get caught up in the gravel trap there. So to me, just how wide he is there, he hasn't gone way off into the gravel trap, so it doesn't look like a failure of any description. Just looks like he's outbraked himself and gone straight ahead.
Yeah, not the side that Jonathan Morey liked to see as he... Here comes the 77, red, white and blue, South Florida man. Following in the footsteps of fellow Floridan and making it to Formula One, Logan Sargent. Will he be the next? He's been in Asian F3, he's been in GP3 as well with Ardent Motorsport, but he's here now in New Zealand making a name for himself and will take the first feature race victory by a country mile as he heads towards the checkered flag and takes it in style. And you saw the celebration as he weaves from side to side. You can do that when you're that far ahead. And that is a very, very good race, especially as M2 having problems with other drivers. That's going to make them feel very good indeed. Wirtz does hold on to second place. Skeets holds on to third. Ryder Quinn gets another good haul of points. And Chloe Chambers from the USA gets her best result of the weekend with a 5th place ahead of Jacob Abel and Ryan Sheehan. So all 4 Americans, but it's Chloe Chambers who beats the other 2. But David Morales is the man of the moment. M2 competition win, and it's David Morales who takes the first feature race.
Keith, congratulations. After what happened in race 2, you come back and you get a podium P3, your first P3 in FR Racing. How good does that feel?
It is so good. I cannot thank the boys at M2 enough for getting me out on track in time. We had a mishap in race 2, which cost a lot, but to come back in race 3 and do this, it's awesome.
Charlie, P2, P4, P2. That's okay, come on, where's the smile?
Yeah, that's okay, but today in the last race I didn't drive well at all. I made too many mistakes. I was too easy at the beginning on the tires. I was hoping there'll be a safety car that I could attack the others later on, but it never came, so I just had a massive gap to the others. I tried my hardest to push. I tried very hard to push to catch up the gap, but it was just too big and I made a mistake.
David Morales, he's been talking it up all weekend. I can get faster and faster. Blew the field away with that magical start. Congratulations.
Finally, the start finally came to me in the last race. Just super duper happy about that, and after getting the start, all I had in my head was just keep the pace, keep the pace, keep the pace, keep the pace, and just kept just going.
So now what does this do to your confidence heading to Taronga, and just about your own ability in this car now that you're used to it and used to New Zealand tracks, at least one of them?
Yeah, I'm definitely far, far more confident, you know, just because this being the hardest race of the weekend, hands down. It's 44 Celsius on, you know, the track temp, and then my tires are absolutely obliterated, and to keep, you know, holding on the entire time really shows me how hot New Zealand can really get and how hard I have to push in all of these races, especially, you know, the race with 23 laps. So just a lot of confidence.
Well done, mate.
So we lead round 1 at Highlands with Austrian Charlie Wirtz in the lead. From second place, David Morales of the USA. Next up, we head south to Invercargill and the world's most southern international racetrack at Taronga Park. We'll see you there.